Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going to Every Leyton Station in London, so let's get straight to it. So the first thing we're going to do is head to Highbury in Islington to catch the Victoria line up to Black Horse Road so we can get the London Overground Suffragette line to our first Leyton station. So what I mean by Leyton Station are the stations in Leyton that have Leyton in their name. There's 4 of them: Leyton, Leytonstone, both on the Central Line, and Leyton Midland Road and Leytonstone High Road on the Suffragette line. And the rules of this challenge is I'm not allowed to leave this station to go in between trains. So we could leave the train station, but we'd then have to go back to the same one for our next train.
This is a Suffragette line train to Barking Riverside.
So we are here at our first Leyton station, Leytonstone High Road on the Suffragette line. We actually overshot Leyton Midland Road. We're just going to switch over onto the other side to get the same train, well not the same train but the same line, one stop back to Leyton Midland Road, and it comes in about 10 seconds. Oh, there it is. If we don't make it, we just have to wait another 15 minutes. So I'm just here at Leytonstone High Road in the shelter. We didn't make the train, unfortunately, but it's just another about 12-minute wait for the next train, which means we're going to go in to Leyton Midland Road, come back past here and into Barking, and then it's just a quicker journey from there, because we were going to overshoot and have more time on the next train, like another little extra bit. But we won't have that instead, and we'll just go straight to Upminster, which is where we're going once we get to Barking. But this is our first Leyton station, Leytonstone High Road. It's a classic kind of 2 platforms on either side, track in the middle, served by the Suffragette line only, 4 trains an hour every 15 minutes in both directions, and they are on the Class 710s. So Leytonstone High Road originally opened as Leytonstone in 1894, quite a long time ago, and then it was renamed, I think, in about mid-1900s. But it sees over 1 million passengers every year. The nearest station is Leytonstone on the Central Line, which we will visit later. I think that will be our penultimate Leyton station. But yeah, we're just waiting for our train. It's coming in about 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and then we're going to take it one stop, as I said, back to Leyton Midland Road. So we are here at Leyton Midland Road, and very short journey, about 2 minutes from Leytonstone High Road, and it's a very similar platform. Again, 2 lines in the middle of track and then platform either side. I think it might be like this on large parts of the Suffragette line. Both stations are raised off the ground, so the track's on like a bridge. They're both, again, as I said, fairly similar. They're both standard stations, harmless, nothing special about them, but then again there doesn't need to be anything special about them. So overall, quite pleased with journey so far. It's been very busy on the trains, which is why I haven't been able to film on it so much. We're just about to head over to the other platform and it's another, as I said, 5 minutes from now until our train is going to come towards Barking Riverside, and we're going to get one stop before Barking Riverside and get off at Barking. So this station opened on the same day in 1894 as Leytonstone High Road. It was originally called Leyton, without the Midland Road bit. This station sees 1.4 million passengers a year, so about 400,000 more than the station just 2 minutes down the road over there. Our train's in about 4 minutes, so back on another Class 710 adventure over to Barking. So we're here at Barking now, just waiting for our 13:38 to Shoeburyness. We're just getting it one stop over to Upminster. So I did some checking on real-time trains, and I found out that there's a Class 357 going to Upminster. I think it comes in about 4 minutes from now. It just means we'll have a tighter connection at Upminster, still 2 minutes, but it means we get a different style of train, because otherwise it would have just been another Adventure. And I think the Adventure is the only type of train we are getting other than this segment of the journey, and obviously the Central line to get to the Leytons. So I can just see our train approaching just in the distance there. So far it's been quite different to the other train missions I've done. It's quite busy today. I mean, it's a Saturday rather than a Sunday or a Friday. I mean, the Great Northern one was a Saturday, but it was quite small. But I don't know, it's maybe just the Suffragette line and this will be a bit emptier. But here we are, it's our Class 357 taking us to Upminster.
45 Liberty Line service to Romford.
So we've made it to Upminster, and as some of you have probably predicted, we are going to get on the Liberty Line overground, just a short hop over to Romford. It's got one stop, Emerson Park, along the way, and our train leaves in about a minute. Looks fairly empty, so let's get on board. We're finally on an empty train. We've practically got this whole carriage to ourselves here. It's another class 710. Not my favourite trains, but you know, they're better than the old class 378s, I think they were. But they still run those on the Windrush line and a bit on the Mildmay line.
Here for Elizabeth Line and National Rail Services.
So we've left Emerson Park now, just about 2 minutes outside of Romford. And our plan from there is to get the Elizabeth Line train down to Stratford, about a 20-minute journey, and then get the Central Line over to Leyton and Leytonstone, where we're going to get lunch and then head back to Stratford. And then I've got a little surprise for you then, because we're not just done yet, we're going to have a little bit more. So we've made it to Stratford here, and now we're just going to get on the Central Line over to Leytonstone, which is number 3 of the Leyton stations. So we've made it to Leytonstone, number 3 of the Leyton stations. We just overshot station number 4, Leyton, but we're just going to switch over to the other platform and go back. Leytonstone has 3 platforms. Platforms 1 and 2, which is the island platform that we're on now, which goes towards Ealing Broadway and West Ruislip on the westbound services, and platform 3, which we were just on, which goes up to Hainault and Woodford and Epping. It gets just under 7 million passengers a year here, and we're just waiting for our train to West Ruislip, and we're just going to go 1 stop back to Leyton, and it comes in about 4 minutes. The Central Line started coming to this station in mid-1947, and it's been here ever since. So we're here at Leyton, our final Leyton station of the day. This station gets 8.5 million passengers a year, just over, so about 1.5 million more than Leytonstone. The Central Line also started coming here in May 1947, and it's now just a 2-minute wait for our Central Line train to take us back into Stratford, because we're not going to get lunch here, we're going to get lunch in Stratford, and then we have a tiny little teaser up on Great Anglia over near Tottenham Hale. But I'll explain more about that once we get back to Stratford after lunch. So we're just on this, quite busy actually, class 720 on Great Anglia. We got it at Stratford. We had to not run a bit, but it was quite a tight connection. There were people running, but we made it. We just had KFC for lunch. Quite average in Stratford shopping mall, not Westfield, a different one. And we're about 3 minutes outside of Tottenham Hale. And when we get to Tottenham Hale, we are going to get another Great Anglia, probably another class 720, up to Brimsdown near Enfield Lock.
Waltham Cross and Cheshunt.
So So we're just leaving Meridian Water now. It was quite busy, but it's quietened down now. A lot of people got off there. Just on another 7:20 Greater Anglia service. I think there's about 2 more stops, Ponders End and then Brimsdown. And then we're going to change and come back down past Tottenham Hale to Hackney Downs, where we'll then change to Hackney Central for the overground. So we just got off our train at Brimsdown, just going through the underpass now, and I can hear our other train just coming in. That's going to Liverpool, London Liverpool Street, and we're getting it about 4 stops to Hackney Central.
We are now approaching Ponders End.
So we're just on our class 720 going to Hackney Downs. This train is in the 2 and 3 configuration, which as I always say I don't really like.
Victoria Line.
And there's never any tables. But this train's fairly empty today.
Please
so
mind
it's
the
fine.
gap
The other
between
one
the
going
train and the
up
platform
wasn't
edge.
so much until Meridian
Please
Water,
take
as I
care
said.
when leaving the train.
But hopefully our train on the overground from Hackney Central over to Highbury and Islington will also be quite nice and chill. We've just got 1 stop to Hackney Downs, and then there's like a little bridge that takes you between the 2, and then we're home. So there's this cool walkway. If you go to the end of platform, I think we're on platform 1, yeah, at Hackney Downs, there's this walkway. It's quite long, over to Hackney Central, where you can get the overground Mildmay lines. And there's a train in the Highbury and Islington direction in about 2 minutes and 6 minutes. So we'll make one of them and go, I think it's about 4 stops to Highbury and Islington. So there we go, we have visited all the Leyton stations, all 4 of them in London, and like all the previous train missions, we've finished at Highbury and Islington. We also started here, but there we go, we did all the Leyton train stations and tube stations, and even did the little extra bit on Greater Anglia up near Tottenham Hale. So thanks so much for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.